Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. We're going to check in on the cryptocurrency space. We had another weekend where Bitcoin sideways consolidation led to altcoin bulls. This is the pattern now 3 weeks in a row. Sideways Bitcoin, bulls go higher. And we had back here, sideways Bitcoin over the weekend. And back here, sideways Bitcoin over the weekend. Back here, it's actually 4 weeks in a row. Sideways Bitcoin, dominance chart drops as Bitcoin goes sideways, and that leads to altcoins performing. So what you have in this environment is traders capitalizing on the opportunity when markets are closed. We've had this back, in other bull markets where when Friday 4 p.m. Eastern rolls around, what are you going to do this weekend if you're trying to make money? It's trade crypto. And if you are at a point in your trading career where, this bull move, this bull cycle, you're trying to hit it hard and you're trying to give it everything you have, you're staying up late, you're foregoing hanging out with your friends, and you're trading altcoins all weekend. And I know that is not necessary. I mean, it depends if you want to do that or not. That is what many of us did in 2017. Again, even shifting our sleep cycles. If I were all in trading crypto right now, I'd be, if I'm looking for a 4-hour high or low and it's 11 p.m. Friday night and it hasn't been set yet, I'm going to sleep and I'm setting my alarm to wake up at 2 a.m. And it just depends on how much time and effort you want to put into this, because that's one way to have an edge. In 2017, there were not many people trading crypto putting in more time than me. There were a few, but how bad do you want it? This is the kind of environment that those bulls are looking for. So at this point in time, the question is it time to chill out and wait for bigger picture consolidation? And admittedly, I did say it, after we had that spike, that flush down of longs liquidating, we did get the most likely scenario from there in a ton of altcoins, which was tightening ranges. Bitcoin gave us a tightening 4-hour range. A bunch of the altcoins just gave us 4-hour equilibriums, and then they broke bull. If I were forced to guess, I would have guessed that 4-hour equilibriums would have broken bear. So I can admit that this move has gotten a lot more follow through than I would have anticipated, 3 weeks ago. So I have to admit that to myself and my ego and say, okay, this is a bigger bull move than you would have expected. So when you're looking for the daily consolidation, you have to keep that in mind. I can't just, every day say, we're looking for the top, we're looking for the top. So at this point in time, it's going to still be Bitcoin that dictates when a top is set, in my opinion. Just in the sense that, again, altcoin bulls don't have to worry about weekly consolidation if Bitcoin is holding daily EMA 12. If we lose daily EMA 12, then things are shifting. Because again, we can say Bitcoin has held daily EMA 12 as support for the last 3.5 weeks of trading for this entire bull move up. And when we lose it, we can then say things are shifting. Right now, the shorter term timeframes are becoming a little less clear on Bitcoin. The 12-hour chart technically just confirmed a downtrend with no follow through. The hourly RSI is approaching oversold. It has not gotten there just yet. Bitcoin has a downtrending support line to be keeping an eye on. We could be watching this downtrending resistance line. But really what it boils down to for me is bigger picture, daily EMA 12. And I will be watching, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin first hourly oversold here, but I'll be watching the response, knowing that if Bitcoin does see hourly oversold, mark a daily higher low, then the altcoin bulls can continue confidently. And so we can see today that there are some altcoins holding on well, but there's a lot of pullback as well out there. And that's from the names that ran really hard over the weekend, topping out and pulling back a bit. I was keeping an eye on this Sol 4-hour equilibrium. That just broke bear. So that bear break was at 55.10. Nice follow through, quick 5%. It happened all in, 10 minutes. But breaking 55.10 was the bear break, and then we hit hourly oversold. So now the question is, can Sol shape up an hourly oversold bounce to hold 12-hour EMA 12. Remember when the flush happened? We could say any name that is still holding 12-hour EMA 12 after that long squeeze, that long liquidation, is standing out stronger. Those are the names that saw continuation over the weekend. And so here we are testing 12-hour EMA 12. And again, we can say the entire bull move, this has been support. When we lose it, it will stand out that things are shifting. And so it will stand out to me if Sol sees an hourly bounce here that leads to a lower low. That will have us say hourly oversold conditions did not mark a hold of 12-hour EMA 12, and we lost. Potentially, if we see another leg down after this bounce attempt, we lose 12-hour EMA 12. That as well will be a little bit of a red flag for altcoin bulls to just take a step back and be a little bit more cautious. And the reason for that is because, as far as I'm concerned, this move up over the last 3 weeks, Sol is the shining star of this move. It has the most attention in terms of, gains and follow through. I know there's other altcoins that have seen bigger gains, but in terms of, the size of the market cap, the amount of attention that it gets on social media, for me, this is the altcoin bellwether of this current move up. And by that, I just mean if it's staying strong, we stay confident. If it begins to weaken, then we start to lose a little bit of confidence. So again, if you're still in runner positions at this point, congratulations, but keep walking those stops up unless you're willing to sit through weekly consolidation. Sol is going to see weekly consolidation sooner rather than later, and we will pull back 20 to 30% from that high fairly easily. I mean, at this point, we've already dropped almost 20%. So again, just keep all that in mind. We know we'll see weekly consolidation. We know it will be a big pullback from that top. Are you going to sit through it holding for, 6 months down the road? Or do you want to lock in your profit and look to reload first 4-hour oversold conditions once that weekly consolidation gets going? The way that I approach cryptocurrency is essentially when we get towards hourly oversold, we're looking for a 12-hour or a daily higher low. And when we get towards 4-hour oversold, generally it's when we're going to start looking for a weekly higher low. At this point in time, most names are looking for first hourly oversold conditions from the most recent bull move up, Bitcoin included. When's the last time Bitcoin has seen hourly oversold? It hasn't happened since. It's been weeks. So we'll see if bulls buy that dip aggressively. ETH standing out today, set a healthy daily higher low. Trying to see continuation here. The big key for me is, can ETH BTC confirm a daily uptrend? So ETH BTC, daily higher low set. Can we confirm the first daily uptrend that we've seen in a very long time? That's the question for this week on Ethereum. And we have a clear, if I'm in an Ethereum swing position, I'm walking my stop up now under 2,000. Because if we lose 2,000, we lose the daily uptrend. Weekly consolidation will likely be taking place at that point. But for now, simple statement, if 2013 is holding, the bulls have complete control. And they're holding on just fine. So Sol, as I mentioned, 4-hour equilibrium bear break into hourly oversold. Link has daily consolidation already underway. Again, just a clear stair-step pattern. Higher low every single day. That pattern breaks at 1537. There's a nice little bear trade there, even if it's just a short-term little gain. But 1537, I mean, it's a quick 4% drop from that signal. So aggressive bears are watching for names that have daily stair steps 8, 9 days in a row and potentially looking for a trade when they break that pattern. But it too is getting towards hourly oversold conditions. Can it mark a 12-hour higher low? And if it does, Link then is going to be watching for the possibility of a 12-hour head and shoulders. Anything above 1358 is a higher low. If we hold a higher low, but shape up a 12-hour downtrend, we'll then be watching for things to shift. So again, there are clues. And for right now, the next major clue that we're going to get is, do hourly oversold bounces result in lower highs and lower lows? If they do, that tells us further consolidation is coming, and we're then going to be looking towards first 4-hour oversold conditions for the next potential bull entry. But bears are starting to keep eyes out for 12-hour lower highs. Some names are going to be watching for shorter term lower highs. AVAX had a great bounce. but it's clearly topping out for now. We're scouting a 12-hour high or low. Have we hit hourly oversold? No. So aggressive bulls are watching for AVAX to hit first hourly oversold to scout a 12-hour high or low. From there, aggressive bears will hope to confirm a 12-hour downtrend, but it's one step at a time. And where we stand right now in crypto is, it's a good thing that we have individual names doing different things. When we have everything doing the same thing, your opportunity is more limited. But when we have things doing different things, you can be looking for an AVAX hourly oversold bounce for a 12-hour high or low, and you can be looking for, sand to potentially top out and look for a pullback. You could be looking at two different coins in different directions because there's so much, the correlations are loose enough at this point that you do have names clearly going up while others are clearly going down. So you need to determine, again, establish your game plan. Are you patiently waiting for hourly oversold bounces? Are you even more patiently waiting for 4-hour oversold bounces? Are you aggressively looking for hourly lower highs or 4-hour lower highs for short positions into daily consolidation? We had a setup on Sol that we were watching over the weekend where we were looking for this top to be hit here, and there was a possibility to hold a short into daily consolidation. And, I was talking to someone individually who had a nice trade, and they covered here, and then we bounced 10% plus. It's like, all right, it makes sense to cover, but there was a lot of space for a 4-hour lower high. So there is definitely opportunity in both directions now. And I'm watching for is that opportunity, which has been greatly skewed to bulls. Bulls have had way more opportunity. Is it going to start shifting a little bit where bears start to see a bit more opportunity? And the fact that Sol has already dropped 20% from the high is the first indication that that may be the case. Sushi. What's Sushi doing? I don't love the clarity on Sushi right now. No, I really don't like that clarity at all. An aggressive Sushi bear is going to look for a 4-hour lower high to be the result of the next bounce, anything under 112. And then we have to confirm a 4-hour downtrend for daily consolidation to then be underway and to head back down towards 90 cents. So an aggressive bear is watching for a Sushi 4-hour lower high. A couple other names that I'm watching. Let's see, I got my list here. ADA. So this morning, ADA was testing these inside bars. Again, same thing, the bear break of 37, not a huge amount of follow through, but quick little 3% drop when the inside bar broke bear, heading towards hourly oversold conditions. We are just getting there. Does hourly oversold mark a 12-hour high or low? What stands out on this chart? We've lost 12-hour EMA 12. So things are shifting a bit. Is it enough to shape up weekly consolidation? Got to be cautious for that. Again, we just have to keep that in the back of our mind. Weekly consolidation is inevitable, and it's potentially shaping up. If Bitcoin loses $36,000 support, which is right where daily EMA 12 is, the probabilities of weekly consolidation will increase significantly. Appreciate the likes and the shares. Jack those likes up, and I'll start reading the chat room and see what you all want to look at. Again, at this point in time, with where we stand, I would definitely be scouting a couple bull names and a couple bear names. If you are able to trade bearish, right now, ETH is a potential bull name to be watching. I take that back. I mean, ETH hourly equilibrium. We're watching for an hourly lower high. If I were going to be looking long on any names, it would be names that have a clear 12-hour or a daily high or low is the most likely scenario. So who did we just look at that had that nice 12-hour? Not Link. ADA? No, not ADA. Was it Sol? No. I don't know. I don't know who it was. There's a nice and clear 12-hour there. I see, look at some of these names like Uni. This to me is saying bull exhaustion. We're not rolling over yet, But these upper wicks up here, again, just this is a caution signal for bulls. Be cautious because every bull break is lacking follow through. And just remember, it's so much, the risk and reward is so much better. You know, when you got a name like Soul that's going nuts, you can buy bull breakouts. But overall, the risk and reward is so much more favorable to be entering on these oversold conditions when looking for the longer term higher lows. AVAX, thank you. AVAX has a nice and clean 12-hour, looking for a higher low. 4-hour stair-step drop and hourly oversold approaching. Not there quite yet, but watching for it. So again, let me just rephrase. I got sidetracked. So the bulls that we're looking for are the ones that are nice and clear. We're at 12-hour or daily higher low is the most likely scenario, and we're watching for oversold conditions for that to try and shape up. And the names that I'd be scouting bearish are ideally names that are still in significant moves up that have not started daily consolidation yet, but where it's potentially shaping up. I mean, that Atom upper wick sure looks like a climax top. So Atom now has a lot of space for potential 4-hour lower high next bounce. Matic, nope, it was Atom. Nope, so Atom is watching for a bear setup. Just doing a quick run through here. We're going to be watching BNB, Binance, for a 12-hour head and shoulders. And again, every single bearish trade that you're looking at, the most important thing is the individual name and what it's doing. You can be watching the BTC pairing to look for signs of weakness, ideally having the BTC pairing leading the way down. But it's got to see Bitcoin seeing a bit of weakness as well to have full-on confidence. So just keep that in mind and keep that as a part of your analysis. If you're looking for things to shift into further weakness, Bitcoin has to be a part of that. I haven't really fully looked at bear setups just because I don't have the ability to short on any kind of confident exchange. But I'd be keeping an eye out on a sushi 4-hour lower high, looking for daily consolidation. And we'll see a Binance 12-hour head and shoulders on watch. All right. Crypto stocks, they suck. They do suck. That's just the way that it is. I was shorting, and I unfortunately got stopped out on MARA shorting today, just a little too early. I was shorting it here. I stopped out break even, but it ended up being a good short off the high of the day. But yeah, they just are so much weaker than crypto right now. It's a huge disconnect. MARA broke the low of Friday. Riot broke the low of Friday. Coin, daily consolidation underway. Coin's the strongest of the three. Coin's trying to shape up an hourly uptrend. I missed Coin. That was an hourly back burner. So they still work on the stocks. 15-minute got crushed. We flushed down. Hourly hit oversold conditions or got right to 30 first thing. And we ended up with a bounce of 5% plus. And now that bounce is trying to shape up into an hourly uptrend to try and shape up a daily higher low. So the characteristics are the same. You know, we're looking for hourly oversold to mark a daily higher low. But MARA and Riot are just so much weaker. And again, IWM is still weaker as well. That is definitely a factor, but keep an eye on, you know, if you look at Riot divided by Bitcoin, you can just see we have been weaker than Bitcoin all since July. August, September, October, 3.5 months, we have been very clearly weaker than Bitcoin. These charts have to change for that to shift. MARA and Riot have to see these relative strength charts, well, relative weakness charts, they've got to turn into strength. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. We're just going to stay weaker than Bitcoin. So it's worth paying attention to. They're nice and clear. I mean, MARA divided by Bitcoin has set a lower high every single daily bounce for over a month. So we can say, when we break these lower highs, something is different, something is shifting. But they're not breaking yet. So again, the title, I'm kind of joking with the title of this video. Time to buy the consolidation. On some names, yes. We are watching for the nice and clear higher lows and hourly oversold conditions. Does Link look like a 12-hour head and shoulders? It's possible. I would like to get a little bit further. I mean, really what you want to see, if you're a bear, the number one telltale sign right now, aside from Bitcoin rolling over and breaking 36,000, is hourly oversold conditions bouncing and leading to lower lows. That's a characteristic shift in the market environment when that happens. And so I personally, if I'm going to call this a confident head and shoulders, I'd like to get a bit closer to this neckline. But it is definitely possible. I mean, think about, again, what a head and shoulders pattern is. It's just a reversal pattern. You're going in an uptrend from higher lows and higher highs, and then you pull back enough to set a lower high and a lower low. You're just going from an uptrend of higher lows and higher highs to a lower high and lower low. So if we set a 12-hour lower high as the result of the next bounce, then yes, it is potentially shaping up that 12-hour downtrend. And what would we need to see from Bitcoin for that to become likely? We need to see Bitcoin lose 12-hour EMA 12 support and head down towards 36,000. It's hard to have confidence in altcoin bears if Bitcoin is holding daily EMA 12. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's important. I talk about gold and silver in every daily market video, which will be after the market closes today. Doge. So Doge has a clear 2-hour downtrend. Just smooth it out. So here is a nice equilibrium. It breaks bear, lower high, lower low. 7.5, key short-term support level. If we lose 7.5, we're going to be testing daily EMA 12 and getting towards hourly oversold. We have not hit hourly oversold yet. We can draw a downtrend resistance line here to keep an eye on that. And we've got to see the response to first hourly oversold conditions. This is the bulls hoping that an hourly falling wedge is shaping up a daily higher low. But definitely not as confident a bull move in Doge here as in a lot of these other names. Just because a lot of these other names have very minimal daily consolidation, whereas Doge broke bull straight into this lower wick flush, and then a bull break straight into consolidation. So I would definitely, anytime I see bull breaks going straight into consolidation, it means bulls are tiring a bit. Fa. Anything that is this illiquid, technical analysis is much less useful. Something that trades, $2 million a day, $1 million a day. It's just too easy. If we obviously don't do this, but we could say, hey, chart guys, chat room, let's run this name. And everybody pours in, and we show up with twice the daily average volume. It's just too easy to influence things that have such low liquidity. But I do like the weekly for clarity here. If these weekly inside bars break bear, it's just a classic equilibrium. We'll look for a higher low compared to 843, but there is a possibility that we just continue tightening up here for another month plus. But burden on bears to break 10 cents to set that weekly lower high into that continued tightening range. So coin definitely stronger than peers. Again, hourly oversold is trying to shape up a daily high or low. What's Aptos? APT. I go by tickers. There are times where someone will say a company name to me, and I just don't know what it is. It's like, oh, the ticker. I speak in the language of tickers. So APT, daily EMA 12, is a nice support guide. Big upper wick on the last pullback. So again, same thing. There are some 12-hour head and shoulders shaping up. First thing I want to know on any name, have we hit hourly oversold yet? And the answer is no. So we're not getting extended enough for that to be the case. Bulls are trying to shape up an hourly uptrend. If we get over 773, the hourly uptrend confirms, and we zoom out. I'll be going to the 12-hour at that point. And again, if we confirm a 12-hour downtrend, things are shifting. When's the last time we've confirmed a 12-hour downtrend? I'd say back here. And there was a decent amount of follow-through. 15% drop from the high on that 12-hour downtrend confirming. So a bear is going to look at this and say, all right, if we get a 12-hour bounce and set and shape up a lower high, I'm going to try for that for a swing trade into weekly consolidation and put my stop over the high. I would only be going for bearish swing trades if I have not been trying to do that for the last 2 weeks. It's the kind of thing where if I'm going to trade counter trend, obviously we want to be trading with the trend more often than not. But if there's scenarios where I'm going to trade counter trend, I only want to give myself, 1 or 2 chances, which means number one, I need to be real picky. If I'm going to give myself one chance, I'm not going to, blow that chance and just say, oh, I'll try here. It's a no, I got to really calculate this out and have, low risk to make an attempt. And then ideally get into risk-free as soon as possible. Because if I stop out risk-free and I don't lose anything on my short attempt, I can go right back into trying again. But again, the last thing we want to be doing is trading counter trend and then losing and trying again and losing and trying again and losing. That's when we start to make significant mistakes. We get frustrated, we go on tilt, and that's when we get a downward spiral. But if we say I get one attempt and I'm really, patient waiting for it and calculated, that's how we can, it's essentially putting ourselves on a leash. Like I can trade counter trend, but only on a leash. Because the last thing we want to be doing is get squeezed out. What do I think of the probabilities that ETH BTC low is in? I can't be very confident in it until we confirm a daily uptrend. I mean, that's step one. It's trying to shape up. And then we could say, all right, first daily uptrend in months, or at least a month. And then we'll have to do it on the weekly eventually as well. But I am watching this long-term support trying to hold. I've been watching for this 3-month higher low to try and form for a long time. Remember we were watching that weekly falling wedge and it failed? So it definitely was looking a bit early. I wasn't making any trades based off of it. I was watching for it. It didn't shape up. But now it's trying. But we've got to confirm the daily uptrend as the first baby step to have any confidence that this low can hold. Hey, Mick, thanks for the compliment on the new website. I had nothing to do with that design, but some other smarter people did. And yeah, we're having a Black Friday deal this year. Details coming shortly. Honestly, I forget if it's the end of this week or first thing next week, but real soon. Yeah, I'm losing a little bit of clarity in the dollar as well. I'm watching the dollar 2-day time frame. Watching for a 2-day lower high to be set, but also making note that, we had that nice big drop, but we never confirmed the daily downtrend. So we have to break that recent low to have confidence that the dollar is shifting because a weekly bull flag is still on the table just in terms of retracement size. The dollar is a possible bull flag. If we confirm a 2-day lower high and lower low, the probabilities of that bull flag drop massively. What do I think the price of SOL will be on a pullback? Once we get weekly consolidation, we can easily go mid-40s. We have not established any support since then. There's some nice price action 40 to 45, but very little until then. I'm going to be watching this SOL hourly oversold bounce very closely for some clues, applying it to the altcoin space as a whole. Stock market is still all bulls. Today's consolidation in the stock market has been very healthy. No red flags. Just sideways after a monster Friday. Why are the crypto stocks so disconnected? Dilution, definitely in the instance of MARA. MARA has diluted twice since Bitcoin topped out over the summer. Just imagine if Bitcoin increased the supply of coins. I don't know the exact number of shares that MARA diluted, but let's just say it's 10%. What if Bitcoin had created out of thin air 10% of its supply of coins over the last few months? That's what's happening with this stock, with MARA. And again, growth names are weak. There's a lot of growth stocks that are still struggling to get any kind of meaningful bounce going, and these names trade correlated to those growth stocks. EGLD. Nice equilibrium, very clear. 12-hour or daily, whichever, but high, low, lower, high. Let's go to the daily. Higher low is now set, so key support 41.34. Just walking those stops up if you're swing trading and don't want to sit through a big pullback. And bulls would have to break 47.11. Anything under 47.11, and we just continue tightening up within this range. That's one worth watching. Again, you know what my feelings on tightening ranges is just so nice and clear. Bouncing right off daily EMA 12 a couple times. Nice and clear. So this is the kind of thing where if Bitcoin stays strong and holds daily EMA 12 and sees another leg up towards 38,000, EGLD would be the kind of name that I would be wanting to be watching closely to be a bit of a laggard, just in the sense that it has not seen a significant move up over the last week while it's digesting that huge daily candle. So this is huge move, digesting, balancing out supply and demand, finding a balance, and then this equilibrium is going to break, and either supply is going to outweigh demand or demand is going to outweigh supply. And if Bitcoin remains strong or even sees another leg up, that will favor demand. That's definitely one to keep an eye on. So again, with walking up a stop, I just can't suggest it enough when you know that significant consolidation is coming. It's something I do with my stock swing trades where it's just, all right, I'm looking for a monthly high or low, daily uptrend. Every time we set a daily high or low, I'm walking my stop up. HNT, probably too liquid, yes. But yeah, it was a nice, just tight range. Let's go back and check it out. So you can see we start that balancing out, and then we just get sideways, and we know volatility's coming. We're breaking one way or the other. Bull break, hold support. But yeah, it is definitely too volatile for me. I do not like 10% wicks on 5-minute candles. MKR. It has not been participating at all, huh? It is now today. So this is a name where I'd be scouting. I mean, this was a rising wedge that broke bear already on the weekly. So bull break into consolidation. Bull break into consolidation means scout a rising wedge. So now what's the most likely scenario? Anything under 1651 is a weekly lower high. And there is space for that weekly lower high to try and form here. And if we confirm a weekly downtrend, we zoom out for monthly consolidation, which has already started. So nice day today, but got to be cautious that weekly lower high. All right, last request for now. ETC, daily higher low set. It's just doing the same thing as ETH, isn't it? Daily higher low set. 1908 is now our key support. Must break 2184 for continuation. If we fail that level, I don't love the short-term clarity. I want to find a 4-hour support where I can say, if this level breaks, it's a red flag that we're not going to see a daily higher high. If I do that on Ethereum, I go to the 4-hour and say, if we lose 2030, so here's an example. If we lose 2029, you know, a bull break on the daily is a lot less likely. But the low at that point is, you know, less than 1% below that level. So if there's two supports that are that close together, I'll default to the lower level. Like, man, I'll just put an extra 0.5% risk on and just go off the lower level, because the last thing I want to see is a break of 2029, stop me out, but the low holds and the bulls recover. So if there's two levels, whether it's resistance or support, if they're within, you know, it depends on the volatility of the instrument, but if they're close to each other, if I'm playing off resistance, I'm choosing the higher one. If I'm playing off support, I'm choosing the lower one. Because I'd rather have two levels on my side than just one. All right, so quick summary. There are some names looking for higher lows and hourly oversold conditions. Absolutely. There are some names that are shaping up the potential for heading into daily consolidation. The market is not doing the same thing. We've got bull setups and bear setups at the same time, and that has to do with the rotation that is going on. Overall, we will keep a bull lean in crypto if Bitcoin is holding daily EMA 12 support. Again, I look at this Bitcoin chart, no red flags whatsoever right now. Losing daily EMA 12 is red flag number 1. So nothing to worry about for a bull on this chart. I am still going to watch the SOL hourly oversold bounce attempt to see if it follows through or not. And again, so one last thing to end on here. We look at this dominance chart. What's the most likely scenario on the weekly here? A higher low. There's space where it could form. We can drop a bit more before it forms, but a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario. So, thought exercise. How does that form? There are only two ways that this dominance chart will form a weekly higher low. It will happen with Bitcoin breaking out towards 40,000, leaving altcoins in the dust temporarily. And, you know, altcoins go along with Bitcoin to a certain degree, but slower. Or it's Bitcoin dropping and altcoins dropping harder. And so again, just keep that thought exercise in mind. Which is more likely? Either is possible, absolutely. But with how bullish the altcoin environment has been, it's hard for me to imagine seeing the dominance chart go up for a couple weeks and for Bitcoin to outperform alts for a couple of weeks. If we get a headline, sure, that can absolutely happen on an ETF headline. But in the absence of that headline, it would be hard for me to imagine that everybody just says, all right, we're chilling out on the alts and we're piling back into Bitcoin. We see that happen on short-term time frames, absolutely. But for a number of weeks, coming from this altcoin euphoria, anticipating that, you know, the capital is going to flow back into Bitcoin bulls for a couple of weeks, I find that to be the less likely scenario. It makes a lot more sense to me that, oh, these altcoins didn't establish a ton of support on the way up. If Bitcoin drops down, altcoins, you know, can easily pull back 10, 20, 30% from recent highs, and that would lead, if Bitcoin pulls back 5% and these altcoins pull back 25%, the dominance chart sets a weekly high or low and heads back towards the recent highs. So again, just things to think about. Nothing that's imminent right now, but watch that Bitcoin daily EMA 12 and let's see how SOL responds to hourly oversold. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks again for the likes, 5 shy of 100. And keep an eye on the broader market. Broader market bullish sentiment can only help crypto. The broader market has been going straight up for 2 weeks. We're in a short squeeze in the broader market. We confirmed a daily bull flag. We're still up near the highs. And the NASDAQ is trying to shape up a monthly cup and handle. If you're a crypto bull, you would love to see the NASDAQ confirm a monthly cup and handle to all-time highs, to just keep confidence going, to keep bulls throwing money around. There's a ton of cash on the sidelines right now, not only in crypto, in markets in general. And the fundamental narrative has assured that that is the case. So if these things do break out, there's going to be a lot of money looking to go to work and chase. And so again, if you're a crypto bull, you'd love for some euphoria to return to all markets. Do good things. Thanks for tuning in.